Steph and I on our little adventure for our very first visit to the Stitch Festival in Islington, London over the weekend. Find out what we both thought about the whole experience, from value for money to friendships made to our first ever catwalk experience and the overall feel of the show itself. Well, I've got my mate with me today. She's been with me all weekend at the Stitch Festival, and we're here today to talk about our little adventure. Did we have fun, Steph?
Oh my God, we had fun. Yeah, we certainly did.
So we are in Lancashire, in the UK, and we were going down to Islington to the Stitch show in London. And we got the fast train, didn't we?
We did, and it's really fast. 2 hours. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it. And we didn't seem to be going that fast, did we?
No.
And it was so smooth and fabulous. I don't usually like train travel very much, but...
It's a while since I've been on a train, I'll be honest with you. But I was impressed with it. Everything went really well. It left on time, amazing. And arrived on time.
Yeah.
What else do you need? Except that some cheeky chap tried nicking our seat, hadn't he, when we got on?
Oh, yes. And,
but we soon shifted him.
Just stood there until he moved.
yeah, just to stand
we
there.
We ain't going nowhere, you're in my chair.
Yeah, it's our seat, and we'd picked two with a table facing each other and plug sockets. I'd gone through everything and made sure we had the best seats on the train, unless we were first class, which we weren't.
No.
So we got to London. What time did we get there?
10ish.
It was just after 10, wasn't it? And we had
a bit overwhelmed initially because it's like an airport when you come out. It's so busy, is that station.
It is. It was Euston Station, by the way, in London.
But we very easily found our direction towards the taxi rank.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. We hadn't realised how far away we were from the Business Design Centre from Euston. If you're young and fit, it was just over a mile, was it?
Yeah.
When we looked?
Yeah.
So, it is walkable.
But when you've got suitcases and old feet.
No. And you knew you were going to be on your feet all day.
Yeah.
We just jumped in a cab and got stung, didn't we?
15 quid takes you to the door.
To do just over a mile in London. It is what it is, and we got there, didn't we? Reasonably quickly. Dumped our cases in the wonderful hotel. We
stayed at the Hilton, which is right next door. It's all part of the same complex, isn't it?
Yeah, I hadn't realised it was that close, but I knew it was nearby. So when I looked on the map, it looked like it was round the corner, and it was the closest one to the venue, so that's why I picked it. But it was literally
across the courtyard.
Hop, skip. This is our room at the Hilton Angel Islington, all very contemporary. And right next to the Business Design Centre. Huge TV, which we might be sitting and relaxing watching later. We've realised they do afternoon tea, so I might partake of that one. Yeah, so hotel was nice, wasn't it?
Very nice.
I will segue in some footage I took of our room, and then you can see what it's like. But yeah, there was nothing about that hotel that I didn't like. The staff were really helpful.
You shouldn't have been for the price.
No, it was not cheap, I've got to say, but nowhere in London is it? And we needed to be near the venue to make the most of it.
I have really bad feet now, and walking ends up crippling me. And I was just so glad that we could come out of the venue and across this courtyard to a lovely, calm coffee shop and just sit in the bar there and have a few minutes peace and quiet. Because it's crazy in that.
It was we went on the Friday and the Saturday, and I think from talking to the vendors Friday, now I don't know about Sunday, but Friday was the busier day.
It's really busy.
Which I hadn't realised. I thought Saturday would be the busy day. But yeah, so we joined a huge queue, didn't we, to get in on the Friday.
To be fair, it moved very quickly.
It did move, yeah.
Because the doors only opened at 10, I think. For the general, I think it was 9:30 for the ones who paid VIP, but 10 o'clock I think for everybody else. So everybody had obviously got there about, I think about
And
9:30 and
yeah.
queued right round the block for.
Yeah. It
forever.
was like the sales.
Yeah.
I remember when they used to have a big sale on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And people used to get
Outside
tents.
next.
Yeah, they used to sleep over. And honestly, I wouldn't
It
have been
looked a bit
surprised
like
if
that.
I'd seen a tent.
But then when they opened the doors, it did
Yeah.
move very quickly.
It did. But very busy from the set go, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When by the time we got inside, there was people everywhere, obviously, but honestly,
You had a
struggled
job to get
to the vendors, didn't you?
Yeah, you had a job to get close to the stalls.
Yeah, but you know, it's all part of the atmosphere and the experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we didn't see many people we knew.
Not on the Friday,
did
no,
we?
we didn't. No, we were surprised that we didn't see many familiar faces. I think there were people there.
We just didn't
but
see them.
we just didn't see them.
Because there was too many. And being little like me, it's hard to see people.
I kept losing it. Every time I turned around, she disappeared in the crowd.
I know. I said it's like having a child with you.
Yeah, it is. Felt like
you can't see me.
I should have had one of those reins on him. Keep tabs.
What, to stop me buying fabric?
Well, yeah. No, it was me that needed stopping.
I was really good. I was proud of myself. I did buy fabric.
I wasn't.
But not much. No, Steph on the other hand.
I went saying, I'm just going to go to Maison Fauve. I particularly wanted something from there, and I was going to treat myself to some quality fabric, and then that was going to be it.
Yeah, apparently. You'll see at the end what Steph actually bought. We'll go through the fabrics when we've had our little chat about our
Named
experience.
and shamed.
Yeah, she's going to be named and shamed. So what were your favourite vendors then?
So Different.
Obviously, we love So Different.
We love So Different, and they won an award for the best looking stand, wasn't it?
Yes, they did. And I'll pop a pic of Laura and Tara looking very happy and pleased indeed with their plaque that they won. And I'm not surprised because they have beautiful fabrics.
It is gorgeous fabric. She designs it all herself. She actually, it's not digital either, is it? You were telling me.
Yeah,
she actually paints.
She paints it and then it's
picture,
digitalised.
and then it's digitalised. Yeah, but it's.
But that's what gives it the fabrics the depth, because we explaining to a few people if you look at say pink on the fabric, if you look at it, there'll be about 4 or 5 different colours of pink within that one bit. There's so much detail in it that
it's almost like a watercolour pen.
Yeah,
that she uses. Yeah, it's lovely.
I know. And we are on the catwalk on the Saturday, weren't we?
Yeah, for So Different.
For So Different.
So
Laura very kindly asked us to go on the catwalk, so we were a little bit nervous.
That was the whole reason for going.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gone otherwise. So, my favourite stall, I think, was Montreux Fabrics.
Yes, I am inclined to agree with that.
Just because... and Lisa Lamb.
And Lisa Lamb, because her cotton jersey is beautiful.
Because I wanted to find fabrics that I could not buy at home or online. And if I didn't find any that were different enough or difficult to find normally, then I wasn't buying them. And I didn't do so bad sticking to that.
You did.
I got some viscose twill from Montreux Fabrics and absolutely loved that. And then I did the cotton jerseys at Lisa Lamb's. The other one we liked was Mark Francis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And for one reason only.
For only one reason, to be fair. If it hadn't been for that garment.
Yes, and it was the Pertwee Inverness cape, and I'll pop an image of it up here.
And it looked a bit like a little Red Riding Hood cape, because it was in red. But when you look closely at it, the finish of it was absolutely out of this world, and it was done. The cape was done with hexagon quilting.
Yeah, you're not going to see that from the image, but actually, which is one of the good reasons to actually go to these shows.
Oh yeah, to see the detail.
Because if I'd have seen that pattern on his website...
It's a pity you didn't video me wearing it.
I know Steph did a cape flick. I think by then we were so tired.
Yeah, I think
Because that was on the Saturday just before we left.
The garment itself is like a sleeveless coat, a proper coat, but with no sleeves in, and then this built-in cape that comes over the top. And Mark just said, "Oh, it's brilliant with not having sleeves because when you go shopping, you can just flick the cape out the way." So I went, "Oh," and I went, "I flicked these." And I went, "Oh, I'm flicking my
cape." Yeah, that was one I should have got on camera. Silly me, but never mind.
It's only just dawned on me in this minute actually that we should have videoed that because it was funny, wasn't it?
I know, we were rubbish at recording. There will be little bits popping up as we speak, but we were too busy enjoying ourselves and soaking up the atmosphere, weren't we? So then on the Saturday was catwalk day, wasn't it?
It's the day we were both a bag of nerves.
I was absolutely petrified. Absolutely. And
I thought Christine would have so much confidence to do that. I thought it would be me that would be the jitterbug. And
there's a big difference, Steph. Me sitting here on my own in front of this camera and talking to you all.
Yeah,
that
all
can't
those
even
people
see.
that follow.
I'm just sat here looking out at my garden talking to a camera. But I got out on that stage and I stood, said, "Come forward, Christine," and I went forward and I just looked out at this sea of faces and I felt physically sick. I don't remember anything. I remember her saying that I'd got binding on the inside and showing the inside of my jacket. And then I remember struggling to get the jacket off when I walked up the catwalk, and that is literally all I remember.
That's what you focused on, because that was the bit you thought you'd done wrong, and actually if you look
when
at the
I
video,
back,
it doesn't look
that
bad. No, it's not that bad. It wasn't bad.
I just felt like I'd failed. Other than falling over, I thought that was probably the worst thing I could have done.
Oh, give up.
Steph, on the other hand, was like a seasoned pro.
Which was a miracle because I was wearing heels for the first time since before my kids were born, and that's like 40 odd years ago. So.
But I think that slowed you down
when you were walking,
which was a good thing when you were walking up the catwalk.
Yeah, I couldn't scurry on and scurry off.
No, I had to consciously try and stop myself walking.
Yeah.
Because obviously you just want to get it in my head, just get it over with. But yeah, it was an experience, wasn't it?
It was. It was
glad
good.
we've done.
But I'd do it again, you see. I
might do. I might not be as bad. It's that fear of the unknown, I think.
Yeah, you'd be fine if you did it again.
We're being presumptuous thinking someone's going to ask us again.
The thing is, you probably know not to be too adventurous and have a coat that you have to take off.
Yeah. I blame Steph for that.
Yeah, it was my idea originally.
She said we've got to have a whole ensemble, and then she strolled out in a dress. Stitched me up like a kipper.
Yeah, but that was only because I moved house in the middle of all this and didn't get my jacket finished.
You stitched me up like a kipper. So what else have we not told them about, apart from showing them our fabrics? Well, Steph showing her fabrics. Oh yeah, we had some nice food, didn't we?
We popped back to the hotel. You weren't hungry, were you? Why were you not hungry?
No, because we'd both both taken a sandwich to eat for lunch, which Steph proceeded to eat at about 11 o'clock in the morning.
No, it was before that. It was on the train, so it was.
Oh my God! Steph proceeded to eat that at about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Because it was my breakfast. Salmon and cucumber sandwiches.
It will get warm and it won't taste the same. Whereas I didn't. I ate my sandwich while we were walking round, didn't I? So
by the time lunchtime came, I was peckish. So I had a little meze, and it was lovely. I had olives and some dried tomatoes.
Yeah. You were on the med, weren't you?
Yeah.
So we went to Pizza Express as well for our one evening meal, didn't we?
Yes.
Which was just handy. It was across the road, and because we didn't know the area, we were tired. It had been an early start that day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we pre-booked it because we were stood in the queue with all these thousands of people, and my thought was, when everybody comes out of here and looks for somewhere to eat,
yes,
because that is right there, it's going to get busy. So we actually booked it online.
It was quite busy though when we went in.
It was quite busy, yeah.
By the time we left, it was full.
But there's so many eateries around there, and
There is.
really interesting eateries. I was a bit regretting it slightly because we could have gone.
We could have tried something a bit more adventurous, couldn't we? But hey ho. But then on the Saturday lunchtime,
We were so tired. And what time did we ended up from there? Because we booked the table for 5:15, didn't we?
Yeah, so we were back in our room by about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
We just
we'd had it by then.
And the plan probably was to go to the bar and have a couple of drinks, but then
we were going to have cocktails in the bar.
We decided it might not be a good idea because neither of us drink very much normally, and we had the catwalk the following day, and we did not want to feel poorly. So we were sensible ladies, and we went back to our room and chilled, didn't we?
Yeah. And then I had a very good night's sleep.
Yes. Well, apart from me snoring and waking Steph up,
we
were all right.
You didn't need to mention
So Saturday, catwalk day. It was exciting. We were VIPs, we got let in straight away because I was panicking. There was a big queue and all we had was normal tickets.
Kept as a souvenir.
And we kept it. Oh. And shall we just show them the catwalk?
Yeah.
And then they can decide for themselves whether we did good or not. And then we're going to come back and show you our fabrics. So, cue the catwalk.
So the first chick to stand next to Christine. Christine is wearing the Tuk Tuk dress and a biker style jacket, both so different patterns. The dress is made in cream viscose fabric with black sketched floral design, and the biker style jacket is made in a fuchsia pink fur backed cord. All of the seams are by Next up is Steph.
Oh, look at
Steph joins wearing the Cassatt dress by So Different Patterns, and she's made it in a really beautiful boucle.
Woo! Go, Steph! Look at that! Lovely, isn't it?
Did you notice the contrast buttons?
Oh, yes.
And the coordinated with those superb boots. Looking
So
stuff
we didn't
lovely.
fall over. Steph was amazing, I'm sure you'll agree. Hers was the Cassatt dress from So Different Patterns. And I had the biker style jacket and the Tuk Tuk dress, all from So Different. And I will pop links to those patterns in the details below if you want to try them out yourself.
Christine had put so much work into that dress, you wouldn't be able to see from the catwalk, but all the seams were bound with black satin lining, which lifted it because the busy pattern, you'd have lost the shape of the dress really if you hadn't done that. I think it was a bit of genius there.
It's not very often I get genius ideas, but that was one of my better ones, I've got to admit that myself. So, fabric time. It's confession time.
Confession time.
Now, Steph's pile is a little bit taller than mine, so I'll let her start.
Well, it was first up Maison Fauve because I'd fallen in love with the Defelante blouse books, but it has a really clever way of doing the shoulders. I'll probably have to demonstrate that when I've made it rather than
because it just looks like a square neck.
Yeah,
but it's not.
But this was one of the fabrics that I've been looking at on Maison Fauve's website for so long. I just think it's absolutely
beautiful. It is. I love it.
Now, they're not both going to be the Defelante blouse, and I haven't quite decided which is going to be which, but this was the other fabric I bought. It's a lace in... Gorgeous. Right, so they were my purposeful purchases, which
So you only bought one pattern then? From Maison.
From Maison Fauve, yeah.
Right, because wasn't that a dress pattern you were looking for as well?
Yeah, there was, but I decided not to. There's a limit to how many garments I can make in any given
and
length
you've got
of
a
time.
lot of dress patterns.
Yeah. So they were, like I said, the ones I'd intended going
They
for.
were the purposeful buys.
Yeah.
So they don't count.
They were legitimate. And then after that, it kind of got a bit silly. Because I just kept going, oh my God, I love them. You know what I'm like for my flowers, girls? Here we go.
That's a twill, isn't it?
It's a twill.
Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, viscose twill has a line twill weave.
You can see the weave.
You can see the weave in the fabric horizontal
Whereas the
lines.
viscose is very smooth. You can't really see
No.
the warp and the weft, but you can.
But because it's a twill weave, it's got a bit more weight to it than a normal viscose. And look at that.
Gorgeous, isn't it? So I couldn't resist that. I can't remember where I got it from. I think it was from
Montreux.
Montreux.
So while we're on Montreux, then I'll show them mine that I got. I got one fabric from Montreux, and it was a viscose twill, because I explained to Steph, it might just be me, but I do struggle trying to find quality viscose twill. So if I see it and I like it, I buy it. So I bought this.
It's very Christine, isn't it?
What do you think? Now, I bought it with purpose. I am planning on making one of the itch to stitch Ladera dresses, you know, the shirt dress with the tie at the front, but with long sleeves for the autumn and winter. Because I've got all my summer fabrics already, I don't need any more. So that's what I got. That £10 a metre that was.
Was it?
Yeah, absolute bargain. So made up with that.
Gorgeous.
What have you got next, Steph?
Right, next. I've got to think about linen at the moment as well, thinking about Santorini, and I'm thinking about the colours of Santorini.
Oh, stunning.
If that doesn't scream the little blue roofs on the, and the
Yeah.
sea. And
Absolutely stunning, that. So
so
have you got
it's-
plans what you're going to make with it?
No.
Okay. I just thought you might have, because you're going to wear it in Santorini.
yeah. I haven't got long to get all this made. So that, again, was from the same place, I think. The other end of the stall, wasn't it?
Was it, or was
Yeah.
it? It wasn't from Roy's, was it?
No, I think that was from Roy's.
And that one.
Can't remember. It's
It's
all a
all a
blur. Right, so this one just appealed to me. The colourway appealed to me again. And I kind of see this as a Christmassy fabric. It is a polyester, I have to say, which you don't like polyester very much, do you?
I'm not a poly
But
fan, no.
I just like the fact that
But the
this,
pattern is beautiful,
it's
isn't
a
it?
beautiful pattern and it's absolutely crease resistant. You could screw this up in your suitcase and
Yeah, that is the advantage of
Yeah.
having so. It's not all polyester though, is it? It's a mix.
it's a
isn't
mix. It is a mix.
It? Which, you know, is okay. That's on my radar. If it says it's like polyester, no way.
But I think that's it. They're like pomegranates.
It feels beautiful though. It doesn't feel like polyester.
Gorgeous.
Very nice indeed.
And then we're back with linen. I made some mustard coloured linen trousers last year. And I just thought, I'll be bloody amazing with my trousers, won't it?
Just a bit. So I got some leopard print. Who knew I like leopard print? I've been looking at leopard print denim quite a while now.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
And look at that.
I do like that. I wish I'd got some of that.
This was from... Oh, crap. It was from Roy's.
Yes, it was.
I didn't see that. I thought I'd looked done Roy's to death on the Friday. But
I'm
on the
certain
Saturday...
that some of them brought
different
fabrics
ones out.
out.
I didn't see this any denim on his stall on the Friday.
They had some really
But
interesting denim on there.
They did, didn't they? Everybody
Yeah.
was looking at it.
Yeah. They had a lot of, you know, the trend is to wear ripped jeans.
Mm.
You could buy yardage with rips. And,
With the rips, it was just so on trend, wasn't it?
Really nice.
But I stuck with my leopard print. And I'm thinking, in the Fibre Mood magazine that I bought recently, there is, I'll put an image of it, I can find one, but there's a skirt with a horizontal slit in it. Steph doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you.
I do know which one you mean.
And I'm thinking I might do that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be good.
If not, it'll just be another jacket, won't it? How many jackets can you have? Or a pair of jeans. I might just do a pair of jeans, but pleased with that. Right, carry on, fabric buyer.
Well, I have been looking for some really nice white blouse fabric, and this just
Beautiful.
fit the bill. If you can see the detail in that,
It is
stitched and
it's more of a cream, isn't
it's
it?
yeah, it's
not,
off-white.
Not a white.
Yeah, it's not a brilliant white, it's an off-white. But it's
But I like that better.
I do, softer.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's
That would make a nice Defelante blouse.
it
You
might.
think?
It might.
It might.
I don't know what that'll end up as. But
It'll end up in Steph's stash for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Is what'll happen with it.
But at the end, right at the end, when I'd said to Christine, don't let me buy anything else, just don't let me. And then I stood there going, but Christine, I'll never see this again. It's just gorgeous. I don't know. I'm sort of going through a beige phase. Oh, I just couldn't
Look
resist.
at that.
It's got metallic black and
Mm.
gold on
It is
a
nice.
suedette
Yeah.
background.
I'm just thinking about that lady. We met loads of people on the Saturday, and apparently a lady said that Steph commented to Steph that she thinks she keeps me under control with my fabric buying.
But I did say, actually, I think it's the other way around. Christine tries really hard, but she's just too small. She can't reach up to slap me down the face. So.
Nobody can control Steph, but it's your passion.
It is.
And you know, we keep saying this. There are a lot worse things you can do in life
Yeah.
than buy fabric.
Absolutely. And if I never get to use it, somebody else will say, oh, that vintage fabric that woman's been hoarding for all those years is back in fashion.
So then, before we left on the Saturday, because we were on the 5:30 in the afternoon train back, weren't we, on the Saturday?
Uh-huh.
And we had one last visit to Lisa Lamb's stall. We'd been on the Friday and not bought any, or I actually bought one on the Friday.
Oh, yes, you did.
So on the Friday...
And we sat in the cafe, that was it. We went for a coffee and a muffin, sat above Lisa Lamb's.
And we were looking down on the fabrics.
and thinking, one last look.
I know.
One last look.
So we did. We just enabled each other. So the Lisa Lambs I got, these are both cotton jerseys because it was on my list. If I saw some good quality patterned cotton jersey, then I was definitely buying it. So I got this one.
I love it. And they had that in several different colourways.
Yeah, that's like a dark teal background, isn't it?
I think they called it navy, but it's not navy. It's more teal.
No. So that's going to be a nice dress. And then
that one they had in several colourways.
this they had in 2 or 3 different colourways, didn't they? But I got the one with the mustard background. I'm going to make a top with this, but I don't know which one yet.
No. Fair enough.
We will see. So what did you get?
And
from
just
Lisa?
because Christine was buying and I wasn't, I ended up buying. And it's just a really cute little,
I
again,
like that.
cotton jersey, but it's full of little butterflies
Yeah,
in all different colours. And
it's really cute.
So cute. The one thing we didn't mention was buttons. On the Saturday when we went back in, I said, right, I said, just want to go back to Maison Fauve. Just to have another look. You wanted to go back to Maison Fauve,
I did.
didn't you?
Because I had FOMO and I thought, surely to God there's something that I want on Maison Fauve, but actually no.
No, there wasn't.
No, it was alright.
The colours were all too strong for you. There was oranges.
They were
and
either too
navies
strong
and
or too wintry.
wishy-washy.
Yeah, they were wishy-washy or winter colours.
Yeah.
It just wasn't doing it.
Doing it for you. But we found the Defelante blouse made up in this fabric.
Mm.
And I turned it round because I'd forgotten that it has buttons
all
down the
down
back.
the back.
I seem to be having a thing about buttons down the back, don't I, at the moment? So I asked them if they had the buttons because they matched that perfectly. No, they didn't, but they said you'd be able to get them online, but they're in France. So if you order anything, it's like a few buttons, you're going to pay silly money for postage.
Yes.
Plus the buttons would be expensive. So we set off on a mission, didn't we?
We went on a button hunt on Saturday.
And there weren't many people selling buttons, but when
At
we
all.
found somebody selling buttons, she was amazing because they were so cheap and so beautiful. And the first button I saw, I don't know how
This is
I'm
gonna
going to
be
do
right,
this.
We're going to try and...
There's a little green button.
if you can see
Just-
the green button on there, then...
Yeah, it's just perfect. And I
because
needed
it's a
10
really
of
good
them.
match.
You need 9 for the garment. So I bought 10 because you've always got to have the spare one, haven't you? But they also had this little button. I don't know whether it's, if I go too close
It's
it'll...
tiny, but they are. What I'll do is I will take
Take a
some
still.
pictures of,
Yeah.
of the buttons and pop them up. Now, it was interesting. So, what did you think of the show compared to Harrogate? Because
it's a
we
tricky
always
one.
go to Harrogate Knitting and Stitch Show in November.
And we
and
love it.
We love it, but we watch all these going to the London ones, and
We
you
felt
get,
like we were missing out,
yeah,
didn't we?
you get a bit of FOMO, and you think. Last year I was so jealous. That was when I went online and ordered a load of Maison Fauve fabric just to
Yeah.
make myself feel better because I didn't go.
Yeah.
Now I've been. I enjoyed it. It was a brilliant experience, mainly because we were on the catwalk.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll go back again. Sorry?
Harrogate's better.
It is.
I'm whispering again, sorry.
Yeah, I know you are. She's whispering. What did you say, Steph?
Harrogate's better!
Yay! Yes, we
I think-
prefer Harrogate.
I think there was a difference. I think there were more pattern companies in London than there are at
There are
Harrogate.
hardly any at Harrogate, and that was the people like Maison Fauve,
Yeah, the big companies.
who have, they just don't go to Harrogate. So if you're watching Maison Fauve, go to Harrogate. We want you there. But that was the only stall I think that and Lisa Lamb, I've not seen
No,
her
you've
in
not seen
Harrogate,
Lisa
so
Lamb
that
in
was
Harrogate.
good. So there were 1 or 2 stalls that you wouldn't see in Harrogate.
But all the other, I mean, we always have Roy's.
Yeah. The
Rainbow
Bombay,
Fabrics
Rainbow Fabrics,
yeah.
Bombay stores, Rosenbergs are there. You get all the usual gang go, and obviously so different patterns are there, aren't there? But we don't get any proper pattern companies, and I thought that would be a big thing for me, but I actually didn't look at many patterns.
No.
So clearly, I'm not missing anything with the pattern companies not being in Harrogate. And it's a nice location, in my opinion. Harrogate's beautiful.
I'm not into crowds these days. It's too peoply.
Yeah.
Too much concrete and too many people. That's what I always think when I go to London.
Yeah, there was no greenery really, was there?
No.
So it was an experience, and we always thought we wanted to go to Ali Pali, didn't we?
Yes,
And
we
it was
did.
definitely going to go in October this year, depending on how we got on at the Stitch On. I know it's different but I'm not sure.
I don't think this year. I think maybe next year we could do it.
Yeah, to compare.
Just to compare.
Just to compare.
I don't want to go this year. I feel like we've done
There's
London
too
once
much.
this year.
Yeah. Me too. And we've got lots of other things we want to do.
Oh yes.
So let us know, did you go to the Stitch Festival? If you were there and you said hi to either of us,
Yeah.
thank you
Because that was
for
lovely.
spending the time to talk to us.
We got such a lot of positive feedback.
We did.
It
That
was
was
absolutely
brilliant.
when people were stopping you and complimenting your garments and
Yes.
and saying, "Oh, we've seen you on YouTube and you know you help us with this, that, and the other." It's lovely.
Yeah, that young girl who stopped me.
Yes. Yeah.
And said I'd helped. She was a beginner sewer and I'd helped to make a garment that she was struggling with. That is why I do this channel, if I'm honest, to help people get their sewing to the next level and to share my enthusiasm. Are you going to say bye, Lily? She's been grunting on the floor and she's in on the act. People have said they don't see Lily very much. Here she is.
Here
She's
she
still
is.
alive.
Going strong, aren't you, girl?
Yay. So we'll love you and leave you, and hope you've enjoyed our little journey down
Bye.
to London.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Bye.